Yeah, so we're gonna finish this conversation up. Let me just ask you this: if you guys are having a conversation and you hear about Britt Reed, right? And Britt Reed is having an issue, right? Let me ask you this. Let me just first say, Britt Reed. If you guys are not following, Britt Reed was the guy who was he is Andy Reid's son.
Okay.
A week during the Super Bowl, he was having some issues. During that week of the Super Bowl, he went out drinking. Now we all heard this story. Now here's the thing. This morning, the district attorney office said that they're going to try to file some charges against him. He was drinking, but he was not drunk. He hit the back of the car. There's the little girl who was in the back of the car. The child's name was Abriel Young. She got injured. He wasn't speeding. He wasn't doing anything he wasn't supposed to be. He wasn't speeding. But with that being said, should drunk driving charges be filed against him? He was a little bit over the issue, but should drunk driving charges be filed against him?
No, I mean, if this guy taking the test and the test concludes he's under that level that they already set to charge you with a DWI or a DUI, then you can't just charge him with drunk driving. That's why that was put in place, by the way. But accidents happen, no matter whether you're drinking or not. Accidents happen. People are going to get hurt. I mean, I feel for minors and kids even more, but you can't just charge somebody with something that, doesn't apply to the situation. You could charge him for the accident. You could sue his insurance. You could do all these things, sue him as a person. But I mean, if they have a parameter, whatever that level is, would determine you had too much, you're driving under an influence or not, you got to stick to that.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Since my man Tony Roberts is joining the show, let me bring him in. Tony Roberts, what's going on, bro? What's good?
What up, fellas? What's up? I'm sorry, man. I had another call. I tried to get off of. I mean, it was one of those. You ever tell me, all right, man, all right, I'm straight, I got it, and they go, yeah, and they keep talking. I say, all right, 2 times. That means goodbye. Trying to get back on, what I'm saying, with the box seat. I'm trying to get back with the VIPs.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you, Tony. Let me ask you this question, man. Britt Reed, you talk about Britt Reed. Britt Reed was supposed to be over the alcohol limit. He hit the back of a car and injured a child during the week of the Super Bowl. So I'm gonna ask you this: do you think? Because right now, a couple of the attorneys are trying to file some serious criminal charges against him. Do you think he should be charged criminally, even though he was a little bit over the toxic limit? He didn't break any laws. He was in the right lane. The lady parked. She didn't really completely pulled over. He hit the back of the car. You know what I mean? It was a swerving type of thing. You know how those things when you come off the highway.
Right,
it was a swerving type of thing. He hit her in the backseat of the car. But now the district attorney's office wants to file criminal charges against him. What's your thoughts on this, Tony Rob? You think criminal charges should be filed against him?
I think it's because who he is. He can do anything.
Yeah.
The profile is bigger. They feel they can get, especially a celebrity. Man, you can go into a fish store and steal a fish. You're doing time. Because they're gonna blow out the water. They're gonna swear that was an Australian superfish or something. They're gonna press it. It's because who he is. If it's one of us, man, we get a ticket. We gotta go to court and everything. But there's nothing. That's a ticket.
Right.
That's a ticket. That ain't never the ticket. It's who the person is, man. With great will come. What they say on Spider-Man? With great power comes great responsibility. You can't do nothing, man. If you're famous, you can't do nothing.
Yo, Talent, he just said a Spider-Man analogy.
I was just going to say. I was just going to say.
Great responsibility. You can't go out there act a fool. You're a celebrity, man. Like Talent can't go out there and just start jumping trains and taking cell phones off people's hands. You're going to prison because you Talent.
Oh my God!
This in the news. The king of comedy in New York has lost his damn mind.
Every time Tony Coda show, we get a first. That's the first Spider-Man reference on the box.
Y'all crazy, man.
He said, you said, what did Spider-Man say?
Spider-Man, his grandpa said that. His uncle said that. And he died right after that.
Oh God!
What's your thoughts when you hear that, man? What you think?
And man, like Tony said, man, like yo, man, the only reason this story is getting attention is because the dude's a celebrity. He wasn't over the legal limit. It wasn't a DUI. It wasn't a DWI. So why are we talking about pressing charges against him? It's a money grab in America.
Right.
When there's a situation, you always want to follow the money, and they just trying to get some money out of this dude because it was an accident and he was drinking, but he wasn't over the legal limit. They going after the money, man. It's always in America.
Yeah.
Always follow the money.
Yeah,
Fig, how many times have you been stopped driving drunk?
Never.
Fox 6 now. We lying. We gonna go ahead and lie
I don't
about
drink,
it.
man, so I ain't never been
We
caught
ain't even
drinking.
gonna get honest.
I don't drink.
Hey, Tony,
All right.
Tony, his cart got pulled over at Wegmans with too much milk.
And that's the bell, fellas. Ding, ding. Here we go.
Yo, listen, man.
No.
The only thing I've ever been charged up for is having too much meat.
Pause.
Meat
Pause.
at the beach.
Pause. Damn. What just happened?
This nigga was on the beach. They said, "Sir, you can't be here. You got too much meat."
And those was cold cuts. And too much cold cuts. I had purchased too much salami, and they was upset because I had purchased I had too much salami.
You gotta let it go, man.
You don't do the meat. And Kid Capri gonna kill you when you find out you stole his face.
Oh my God.
Every joke got a point where you gotta let it go, man. He going deeper and deeper into the meats.
I was waiting for somebody. I was waiting for you to say pause.
You say baloney is feared upon, is frowned upon in the NY. Baloney.
Did you say Kid Capri gonna kill him when he finally stole it?
He's the super DJ right here. We talking to people.
Oh. All right, let me
Hey,
have the next question.
but back to the matter, man. Like, look how many DUIs you get every day
Right.
with fatal accidents, and they go do some time, or it's never about the lawyers and the.
Sometimes you
Never
get to
about
even
the
walk away, depending on the DUI, depending on the situation, depending on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you weigh the alcoholic
Fig,
limit,
right. Fig was right,
Yeah.
but Fig said they see the money. That's all they need to do is see some money.
yeah, and I think that's trying to get to a civil case. Let me ask you
Hey,
about this.
listen, man. There was I tell you, Shannon Sharp told a story. He said he had a fender bender with a dude, and he hit a dude, and the dude got out the car. He was like, "Hey, man, you all right? I'm so sorry, I hit you." You know, and the guy was like, "Yeah, man, I'm all right, man. It, ain't no damage to my car, ain't no damage to your car." And a bystander said, "Hey, man, what's happening, Shannon Sharp?" And he said, and the dude fell out. Oh, Lord Jesus. I'm whiplash. I'm hurt. He was like, "Dude, what's wrong with you?" He's like, you was 100% fine a few minutes ago. I need an ambulance. I'm injured. It's all about the money, man. It's always about the money.
Big, why you tell that story, man? I didn't want everybody to know it was me. You know what I mean? I was trying to get past that story.
You ain't shit, Frank. Frank, you ain't shit, man. You try to do Shannon Sharp like that.
I don't know why Fig tell everybody something I told him personally.
You ain't shit, man, Frank.
Hey, Tony, I'm just trying to get past that Pinocchio joke last week. That's all.
No,
Hilarious.
I ain't got past that Pinocchio joke. Oh,
It like Frank's shirt is still on the hanger.
Tony, here we
Oh my God.
Here we go.
No.
Hey, Tally, you know what I'm going to say next, right? You want to say it for me? You want to say it for
Okay,
me?
yeah, all right.
What about talent?
Kind of look like Keith Sweat's husband. Y'all stupid as hell. Man, y'all can't get a question going on this damn show, man.
Can I ask you?
Y'all niggas is just...
Yo, can I ask a
damn.
question?
God.
Can I ask a question? Yeah, go on, Tony. Where's husband? Tony, you ain't never living that one down.
Oh God. That was good.
Where was I at with the tears in my eyes?
Tal, when I'm coming to Rochester, man.
My birthday. My birthday. I have a date for you probably today.
Woo!
Hey, yo,
My birthday. You know my birthday.
That's May 9th.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna do either the week before, the week after. No, I'm gonna do not on the birthday, but one of those weekends in May.
Woo! Okay, let me get this straight to you. Let me ask you all this. Vanessa Bryant, she came forward and she said she's real upset. She's extremely upset with the sheriffs who released the photos of Kobe Bryant passing away and everything else. She wants their names to be made public, and she thinks since everybody else's names made public, the sheriffs who swapped the photos, who gave the photos and stuff to the press, she's like, listen, y'all need to be named public, everything. So Tony, I'm gonna start with you. What you think? You think that Vanessa Bryant is right about this situation?
Yeah, I think she's right, but she don't really need to do that, man. If people going out trying to get pictures or buying pictures from Kobe, they got leaked out all kind of information and pictures and everything, and she should be. Just raise her kids and it's nothing like degrading about him though. You can't say nothing bad about him. That's true. So it's not like they shitting his name. I mean, if people gonna make money off somebody got a jersey out of nowhere and selling it, or pictures of him doing something that she never seen or leaked out, just let them do it, man. I wouldn't even stress that if I was her, man. You're just chasing ghosts, man. People gonna do that for the next 20 years for Kobe Bryant. I wouldn't even stress if I was her. I'll just raise my kids and just try to. If she's still mourning off that, that's gonna take her years to get over that, dude.
Right.
I wouldn't stress it.
I wouldn't stress it either. Talent, what would you do?
I mean, I agree with him. I mean, you got to move on. You know, he is Kobe Bryant. We're gonna hear his name. We're gonna hear his name ring bells for years to come. I mean, I think Vanessa, but this is what happens with people. Everybody grieve different. I think she's grieving so much to the fact that she also put out a social media statement against Meek Mill. In the last 48 hours. You're paying too much attention to things that you shouldn't be paying attention to. Like Tony said, the most important thing he said in his comment, raise your kids. You're a mom. Be the best mom you can for these kids, and just forget about that. He's Kobe Bryant. People are going to say his name in rap records. People are going to try to leak photos and, oh, look, I got a signed jersey and all that. He made this Mount Rushmore of himself, that you have to respect that and move on.
Right, I agree with that too. Fig, what's your thoughts?
I think, I agree with both of them. You know what I mean? That you can't answer to everything that is going to happen associated with Kobe Bryant now. But what I think is happening is that, it's not like she needs to go out and work or get a 9 to 5 or whatever and stuff like that.
She wasn't doing that anyway. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, clearly she's financially well off. And what I think is happening is that she has a lot of additional free time. And like Tony said, she's probably still mourning. And every little thing that comes out about Kobe Bryant, it kind of like sticks at her like a knife. You know what I mean? Everything cuts. You know what I mean? Because that wound of losing her husband. I mean, she's been with she's been with Kobe Bryant since she was a teenager. Yeah. And every little thing that people say and talk about Kobe Bryant and stuff like that, it still is sore. She's got like an open wound. And when somebody does it, it's like pouring salt in a wound and she reacting to it.
The funny thing is she jumped over to actors who said, Kobe did this, Kobe that, but he also, accused of rape and all this other stuff. She went ill on them too. I'm like,
yeah, man. But you know what? I don't feel a problem about that. Anybody that wants it, because you know what? I can't stand when people don't let you outlive your past. I mean, everybody has a past, a negative past, or something in their past that they're not proud of. How many years do you have to live when you get to, outgrow that, where people don't bring that up? Why would you do that? Why would you talk about that? Because clearly he beat the case. So why are we still talking about it?
Because you're never gonna get past that. You would have to become the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers to get past.
You got to get past that shit, because it worked out for him.
It worked out for him really, really well.
Look, the girl he raped be going to his game. Rooting for him.
Basically.
But Fig right. You gotta let the past go. Cause Fig, we don't talk about when you used to strip at Caroline's. You used to be a stripper at Caroline's. And I mean, people don't know that, but we let it go years ago.
Hey man, and the only reason is because I'm pretty as a girl. That's why I was doing it.
Your stripper name was the Gallbladder.
I thought you was gonna say a stripper name was Strip Capri.
Oh God, I missed that, Ali. You gotta let me know.
Strip Capri.
The only reason Tony is picking on me is because my hair is beautiful. Hey Tony, look at this.
Look at Tony.
I'm gonna help you.
I don't know what the hell he just showed me.
Let me make the show continue up, man. Let me ask this, Tony. I'm gonna start with you, man. You think 17 games in the NFL is too many, man? You think they roll with that? Because that's what the next topic is. The next topic is the players now saying that starting next season, actually, in September, they're gonna start playing 17 games in the NFL. Personally, I don't like 17 games.
Ain't that just one more game where they've been playing?
Yeah, but one more game tilts the whole cart for some who may have been out of the playoffs by one game. You know what I mean? Just first of all, the NFL expanded the playoffs. Now they add an additional game to the playoffs. It's just, like Fig said, it's always about money. You know what I mean? It's always about money. But
let me ask you this, right? Let me back this up for 1 second. And we were talking about the Kobe thing and Meek Mill. Do you think he would have gotten any backlash?
Who?
Am I still there?
Yeah. You still here? Yeah, go ahead. We'll listen to you.
Do you think he would have got any backlash, Meek Mill, if he said, and all these haters trying to take me out like Martin Luther King or like Malcolm X? You think he would have got any backlash for that?
No. I think this is like Fig hit one note on nail on the head is it's so fresh. It's still fresh to people.
Still fresh. It is.
I think the Kobe thing is going to be fresh for at least 5 years straight before people start to normalize it. Right now, it's so fresh because think about it. Just a month ago, we just got the helicopter, the investigation results. That's how fresh it is.
And that was just the anniversary.
Yeah.
That was a whole year later.
Yeah. And then on top of that, we just went through issue with Tiger Woods. So that brings back a whole bunch of people's thoughts about, oh my God, almost to the month, Tiger almost gets killed. And then everybody starts thinking about Kobe, they start reflecting back and forth.
Yeah, that's some conspiracy theorists. They just feel everything is a connection.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's just, and man, look, Tiger record is that he's not the greatest driver. You know what I mean? That's basically
and that can go with golf and behind the wheel, though. That's funny. He's not the greatest driver.
Considering that he fell asleep at the wheel, that joke really resonates.
Yo, man. Listen, this is like the third major automobile thing that we heard about Tiger, man. I mean, first his wife was chasing him with a golf club. He runs into, he runs into a fire hydrant. Then the thing where he was he was taking prescription medication and stuff like that. And they call that now this last accident, man. I don't know, man. He just not like something about him don't let him drive well.
Did y'all see his documentary?
What you say?
You said what?
What'd you say, Fig?
I said Tiger don't drive well. It must
Let me tell you something.
It's that other side of him. It's not the black side that don't drive well. It's the other side.
If I'm Tiger Woods, I'm running from my wife up until I realize it's a golf club. Then I stop and go, you got to be kidding me.
Then I go, I wish you would. Right. I'm gonna have 4 side chicks next to me ready to whoop her ass and take that club from me.
Wow. All right, so Tony, answer the question, man, about the 17 games. You think it's crazy, or think it's what? What you think?
No, I think it don't matter. They're gonna adjust it, like you said. It's another little week that somebody who couldn't make the playoffs can make it. If they do that, they gotta expand the playoffs. It's just like college.
They did. They expanded the playoffs.
Everybody got a bowl game. You ain't got to be even ranked. You in a bowl. They got all kinds of bowls. The Turkey Bowl, the Rose Bowl, the Chick-fil-A Bowl, the
Sugar
Bowl, Cereal Bowl. It's all just like college. They're trying to make more money every week.
Now,
There's always some bowls.
The cereal bowl. Then you got to put the bowl cut, the haircut. You got to put the bowl cut.
You got to put the bowl.
Listen,
like, dude,
I think
bowl.
Hey Frank, I think that I've always thought football was a little too short. To be honest with you, I always said to myself, like, take 2 seasons off for the front end, put it on the back end. So you do 2 preseason games for everybody. Get right to the season, an 18-week season. I think that's full. You know what I mean? Because you're waiting a full week for each game.
These guys going 100%. These guys going 100%. Just to like hockey a little bit, but football is going 100%. You need the preseason games just to get back in the gear. That's why there's so many injuries. There was no preseason.
Right. And Tone, keep in mind, football. When you look at other sports, football is like a part-time job. You got a guy that just go in for one thing all day. He's sitting there waiting for a punt. Oh, they punting? Okay.
That's what he
does.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But you know what the problem is? Is that, football is having problems where these guys after the game are having long-term effects like injuries and stuff like that. And if it's a safety issue, why would you adding another game is adding another game, which gives them another opportunity to be injured. They said by the end of a football season, everybody is injured. Everybody is injured. There's nobody that's 100% at the end of a football season. So to add another game and more playoffs and stuff like that, it's a money grab. But I guarantee you the players ain't seeing the lion's share of that money.
Of course not. Of course not. But at the end of the day, I think if they want to do one thing and they want to add one more game, that's fine. I'm fine with as long as they taking one game off the preseason, because I think the preseason game, there needs to be at least 3 preseason games. I don't like 4 because
3 is good. 3 is
good. Yeah, and then get ready to get into the season and then add that game at the tail end of that. But I just look, they're trying to expand football from September to February and into March. That's what they're trying to do. So let me ask you this. Yesterday, Tony, we talked about a big deal. We were talking about of course, Dak Prescott issue. We were talking about Russell Wilson, but I'm gonna start with you, Tony Robbins, because you weren't part of this conversation yesterday. We were saying, should Seattle fire Pete Carroll to keep Russell Wilson happy? That's what we had a conversation with yesterday. What's your thoughts since we're talking about the NFL?
That's close. That's a tight.
Hello, you sticking?
Yeah, that Pete Carroll question do that to everybody.
It does.
That's a Wi-Fi deterrent.
That's a Wi-Fi deterrent.
Did you not know Pete Carroll owns 63% of all Wi-Fi?
He's still stuck too.
Take him out break. Let him come back in.
Yo, man. Hey, in honor of Tony, everybody.
Okay, Tony's back. Tony, you back, Tony? Okay, so what you think?
Oh, I gotta go in the house. I got my little.
Pete Carroll don't like that question.
Yeah, man, he cut me off. I'm on the West Coast. All right. Hey, man, I think that's too tight of a decision, man. I said you got to get rid of the quarterback goes first. If the coach is winning, if the coach is winning, is he halfway winning? If the coach is halfway winning, the quarterback can't win, dude. You got to get rid of the quarterback. The coaches ain't going nowhere. The head office is on the coach's side.
But like we had a conversation with, like we were saying yesterday, the QBs are now getting more power because you can literally see Russell Wilson put that story out. I don't care what nobody says. Him and his people put that story out talking about.
You can get the number 1 player in the country, and he tell the certain office, I don't like the coach. And they well, what you want us to do? He the coach. You don't need to do. The coach got to be awful, bad for them to replace him.
Right.
I'll take rid of Russell Wilson. You got to get rid of Russell Wilson. Now you can't get rid of Pete Carroll. He's a winning coach.
That's what I agree. That's what I think. What you think, Tony? Talent. What you think? You think you agree? Disagree?
Total opposite. Get rid of his ass. Well, I told you yesterday, they should have fired his ass that last Super Bowl they made it to. With that, yeah, because he's. Here's the thing. We had this conversation not too long ago where you have a lot of coaches who fall into a great line of players, and it makes them look better than they actually are. I.e., the Phil Jacksons in the NBA who falls into these situations. Pete Carroll is that with the Legion of Boom. You know, you got the Legion of Boom. You got that was when Seattle was clicking on all cylinders. They had everything a football team needed to win on both sides of the ball. So, of course, they went on a tangent. People got on this whole Seattle Seahawks thing, and they got fans, the Legion of Boom, from the east to the west coast, top to the bottom. And guess what? Soon as those pieces started to leave, your Sherman goes over here. You know, your running back game changes over here. A couple of linemen go over here. And now it's just Russell, pretty much predominantly. They're not winning as many games. They're not as impactful in the league. Other people are coming in and surpassing them. Now where's Pete Carroll?
Yeah, I agree with that part. I agree with that.
They're in the playoffs every year. You know what I mean? It's a testament to the way Russell Wilson has grown and matured, during the, his years in the season. But the one thing I don't agree with is the Phil Jackson phenomenon. Phil had some great teams, but they didn't win before Phil got there. So I can't use that analogy with Phil.
Yeah, I agree.
You can. Yeah, you can, because Phil, let me explain something to you. Phil came in, you got the Pippen and Jordan combination, and you start putting the pieces together. Think about it. For 7 seasons, they didn't win because they relied only on the scoring of Jordan. After 7 seasons, you got all the pieces Jordan needed in there, right? So now you stick with that nucleus. Then what did Phil do after that? Phil went to Shaq and Kobe.
Yo, wait a minute. First, hold. Let me. Can I rewind? First off, in Chicago, Mike was there. Scotty was there. They had the whole team. They had the whole nucleus, and they lost that year. The year Phil came in was the first year they won. Then they forced Phil out. They told Mike and them. They said if Phil wins 82 games, we firing him. So he ended up in LA. The year before that, you had Shaq, Kobe. You had the whole. Let me finish.
You just skipped Shaq. 5 wins.
Wait a minute.
Hey, we skipped 5 NBA wins.
You skipped 5 NBA championships. What are you talking about?
Who skipped 5 NBA championships?
You just did.
You just did. Go ahead. Finish your
Come on with the Bulls.
I'm just talking about he was with the Bulls.
Right.
The year before Phil got there, they wasn't winning. And they had the same team. Then the year when he came in, he put a system together that allowed them to win. Now they kept winning. Then they forced Phil out, and in LA, they're losing. They got Shaq, they got Kobe, they got their whole nucleus of players. They're losing in LA with Shaq and Kobe on the same team. Phil comes in, puts in a system, and all of a sudden, they start to win.
I don't know why you shaking your head, Talent. I mean, he's saying the facts. He just skipped over a lot. He's saying the facts.
You know, he skipped over a lot.
Man, the show is only an hour. You don't want me to go through the whole thing.
But you're leaving. You can't trim out the fat that's most important. Phil did all his winning with the most dominant players in the league each time. That's my point. My point is you can't keep saying you're a great coach if you can't do it without the greatest players in the league. Right. Popovich is an example of that. Popovich did it with the players that wasn't the greatest in the league that eventually became the greatest in the league. Jordan was already the best and the best scorer and top scorer when he went there. Pippen was already the best wingman. All they put in places was role players that they needed. They got 4 to 6 centers. So they was coming out the East. They got the centers to foul Patrick Ewing and all those centers to get to the conference final games. So listen, they got all the pieces in place. Now, after you win all that stuff, they forced them out after 6. Plus, they were going through the last 3 years of Jordan going 1 year at a time. Remember that. That was the 1 year at a time with Jordan. And each time it was him and Phil, like, you coming back? If you coming back, I'm coming back. You coming back? You coming back, I'm coming back. They did that 3 times. Okay. Then the last time he got out of there. When they let him go out of there, he went to the most dominant center in the game, which was Shaq, the youngest and most dominant. You forget, Shaq was on Orlando and went to the chip with Penny Hardaway.
And lost.
Most dominant.
Brother, the only thing I'm going to say is this.
Hold on. We only got an hour. Let's continue to move on because we got other things. We don't want to talk about this. This was 20 years ago. Let's continue on. We got more stuff to talk about.
Frank, you still mad because your shirt's on the hanger? Don't do that.
We can talk about this.
Listen, the only thing, my last point is you need a great coach to manage great players.
I just don't think Phil's a great
coach
coach.
been able to do
There
that.
is no such thing. You know what would be an easier question? The easier question would be to figure out who won without any Hall of Fame players. Who won anything without any Hall of Fame players? That might be an easier question. It's really hard to figure that part out. I don't think you can name one coach in any sport who won without a Hall of Fame player.
I got 4 words that can sum it up for Fig. 4 words. We got the meats.
It's true. I don't care what nobody say. That's the truth. We do have to meet.
But I'll give you a talent, man, on this topic real quick. We can change it. If you got 2 of the most dominant players in the country and just throw 3 extras in there, I can coach them and win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That don't make you a great coach.
Yeah, just go do what you do.
That don't make you. In closing, Frank,
Right.
you said one time when we argued about Belichick and Brady, right? Not one time did I ever say he's not a great coach. You know why? Because Belichick found a way to win even when Brady and the offense wasn't at its best. That's a great coach. Phil's never done that.
Yeah, not only that.
Nobody has.
Nope. That's
Belichick.
No, not in basketball. Nobody in basketball has ever won without great players. Not one team.
Yeah.
Not great players, but one side of the ball is what I'm saying.
Not one team has ever won without a great. No coach has ever won without great players.
Yeah, in football, it happens every now and then. But baseball. Since we talk about coaches, let me ask you all this. Let me start with you, Tony. Let me ask you this: the Atlanta Hawks, they fired their coach Lloyd Pierce last night in season. Are you for coaches getting fired? And since we're talking about great coaches, and since we're talking about players and everything else in the NBA, it's happened a couple of times this season. Are you for, especially if the team is not performing at the level that you should be performing? Are you for or against coaches getting fired mid-season?
Okay, first of all, this is what I think when they about to fire coach. The first thing a coach say, I ain't missing the jumpers. I told them what to do. I'm not falling down. I'm not falling out. I have the whole plan. So you got the wrong person. We need to bring these 5 niggas in here and talk about them. And then bring their playbook. I told them, shoot, and they fucked up. I didn't say, you hired them. You paying them. So don't talk to me. That's the first thing coaches need to say. I think you got the
you go in the office. You go in the office. That's the first thing you say.
You drafted them. You drafted them. You gave them all the millions, and then all of a sudden they garbage.
Hey Tony. Hey Tony, and then the person they try to get a job to, don't give me that shit. Don't give me that shit.
All right, so Tyler, what do you think about that? Are you for in-season fired coaches?
No, I think that is so anti-classy. I think mid-season, a coach is such an intricate job that he deserves the same respect you gave him coming in than he does going out. That mid-season thing to me is a real disrespect. I think there's exceptions to the rule, like health and stuff like that. But I mean, on some fire stuff, I think that's real embarrassing and disrespectful.
It really,
I'm not for
especially in the NBA. Vic, what you think?
I think it's it borders on throwing a temper tantrum. The owner is throwing a temper tantrum. I'm mad. All right, that's it. I'm fine. And then sometimes somebody needs to get fired to make everybody else fall in line. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's almost like in slavery. They took the biggest, strongest buck and they like destroyed him so everybody else would fall in line. Popovich used something very similar. He yelled at Tim Duncan, which meant that everybody else had to fall in line. So sometimes people use that strategy as you got to throw somebody in the fire to make
under the bus. Let me show you the biggest part of hypocrisy. I'm gonna be the biggest hypocrite because I'm against letting people go mid-season, but I gotta leave mid-show. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta get back to taping over here. I'm sorry. I love y'all, Boxy.
Take it easy, Pen Talent. Now, since Rodney Perry joined the show, Rodney Perry, what you think, man? Are you for NBA firing coaches mid-season?
This nigga look like an African tooth fairy. Ronnie, where the hell you been, man?
Don't worry about where I'm at. Let me tell you something, Tony Robbins. Where's your mustache? Where the hell is Tony's mustache?
I just mailed it to you.
Hold on, let me get this. Hold on, stay right there. I had a hanger on my shirt, but that's another thing. Look,
so we're talking about firing coaches in mid-season. Is that disrespectful?
man, people get fired. You lose, you get to go.
But what if you got a losing record?
You shut up, Tony Robbins. If you lose, you got to go. You fired.
I think it's etiquette involved, man.
Ain't no etiquette. Let me tell you, in the professional sports don't give a damn. Somebody, and guess who got to fall on the sword most of the time? The coach.
Right.
If you're not winning games, you're going to fall on the sword mid-season or not. Hey, you out of here.
I know what you're saying. They say players win and coaches lose. Yeah.
Did I just hear you talking about Phil Jackson's not the best coach ever? Did I hear that?
Say again?
That's what Talent said.
Phil Jackson is not the best coach ever.
No,
that's what Talent said, not me.
He's a pimp. He's just smart. He wasn't the very, very best coach.
He's just smart.
He's just smart.
At the end of the day, every team is steered by a coach. That part is undeniable. You gonna win with the coach.
Yeah, I believe that.
If you talk to Michael Jordan, he'll tell you, we don't win without Phil Jackson.
Right.
Period.
Right.
I would ask this question. I would say, what other coach do you think would have been able to manage the crazy antics of Dennis Rodman and still have the team win?
Yeah, I mean, you could listen. Like I said, we could talk about coaching and that stuff all day long, but coaching differs per sport. You know what I mean? Like in the NFL, it's a lot more dynamic because now you got 52 players. You know what I mean? In the NBA, you got 10 players. You know, so it's not the same thing. You know what I mean?
He got me thinking of a coach that can handle his crazy, the Dennis Rodman craziness.
The only coach who could have was the one who died from Detroit.
No,
that's
a football coach. It had to be a football.
Oh,
coach.
you
but you know that was almost a different era. Dennis changed. Dennis changed. Like he went from, he was the first like person to blow up off antics.
Yeah, because when he was in the bad boy era and with the Bulls in that era, he was just a hustler. He had a name to be a great hustler.
Yeah,
right.
And he was scoring mental. When he was in Detroit.
But
but then once he married Madonna and came back to the NBA, everything changed. His whole, that whole thing.
Madonna, Carmen Electra, all them.
All that. Yeah, all that. Since we got to that, but I'm not talking about individual players. I'm talking about coaches. I want to stick to the coaches conversation because the coaches is where it's at. That's why I asked in the NBA, because in the NFL, when it happens, it's almost historic. In the NBA, it's starting to happen more frequent. You know what I mean? Like Nate McMillan, now he's the interim coach. He has 17 seasons under his belt as a coach, and now he's the interim coach. So now if he wins, that they might not still give him the job. But if he loses, he'll get fired like he did last year. You know what I mean? Like it really depends. And why is the NBA trending towards? That's what I'm trying to get to. Why is the NBA starting to trend towards firing coaches mid-season? That's the question. You know what I mean? Because they're doing that.
I think this, Frank, for real. I mean, all jokes aside, I think what's happening is always been true. And I know we don't want to pull a race card, but it's a race issue for me. Mm-hmm. A lot of these coaches, they're getting a look because they got pressure to give them a look. But they don't have no long leash.
No,
no. They barely have a whole season. This kid, you'll see this guy out in Boston, that loses games and mess up the team. He still got a job.
But remember they got rid of the Warriors coach and brought Steve Kerr in?
Mark Jackson.
And you're talking about Oakland. I mean, the Bay Area lost their mind, and it was based on that race. It looked like a race thing for real, man.
But in their defense, Mark Jackson said some stuff, from what I understand, that was frowned upon by the upper management.
You know what I say about that though? Here's the thing, and we all know this. Everybody in the entertainment industry knows that. When they fire you and they say something about you, you got to take that with a grain of salt because you never know how true it is, and they're in charge of the machine that runs the narrative on why they actually let you go. Like you see what they did to Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle quit the Chappelle show, and before he got on the plane, they had the story out that Dave Chappelle was a crackhead. They said he flew all the way to Africa to smoke crack, and we all know that that's not true.
Yeah, but that's along the lines of a completely different topic. I mean, I get what you're saying, but that's going along the lines of the narrative. What Roddy is saying is going along the lines of now saying it's a race issue. Now, I could still, being that I'm trying to be fair, I could still dispute that, but I'm not going to, because I do kind of lean to that. Because let's look at Steve Nash right now. Look at Steve Nash, New Jersey Nets. Honestly, I may be joking, but Kyrie Irving is coaching the Nets. I don't care what nobody says.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, it's possible too.
I'm gonna say why. But Kyrie Irving told James Harden, "You're gonna be the point guard." James Harden has now locked in 7 triple doubles as a point guard, and now ever since that happened, Brooklyn Nets have been winning and winning and winning and winning. And who's gonna get the accolades for that? Steve Nash, right or wrong?
Steve Nash,
right or wrong?
Well, that's a fair statement, Frank. But let's go back to when D Wade told LeBron, "Hey man, this is your team now." I mean, somebody has to yield.
But D Wade said that, we heard that through a third party. Kyrie Irving said that to the media. He came up front and said to the media that I told James Harden he's going to be a point guard. He literally said that's what
No, but what you don't know is if Steve Nash went to him, is like, "Yo, dog, one of y'all got to yield."
Okay, even if he did do that, Rodney, even if he did do that, it still was not right for Kyrie Irving to go in front of the media and tell the media, "I told James Harden to be the point guard."
Maybe I told him don't do that no more.
Hold on. Let's do one at a time. Go ahead, Tony. Go. What you
Maybe, how do you know? They probably told him when he did it. They probably told him afterwards, "Hey, don't do that no more." Don't do that.
They probably did. They probably did.
Don't do that.
They probably did. My point that I was saying, it was still wrong for Kyrie Irving to supersede the coach by coming and saying that to the media, telling the media again. I'll say it again. The quote he said was, "I told James Harden he's going to be point guard." Fig, go.
No, the thing is that, well, number one, Kyrie Irving has been saying things, you know, like this in the very beginning of the season. He was like, "Yo, with the team we got, we really don't even need a coach." So that was the first thing. Then he comes out and says this. And the funny part about it is, he said that. And the funny thing about it is that I think we're halfway through the season. Like this weekend, we halfway through the season with an All-Star game. And Steve Nash has literally given possibly 3 interviews the whole half of the season.
Rodney Perry, go.
I mean, again, Frank, I mean, you're making a great point. Kyrie shouldn't have said it. But that don't mean that Steve Nash is not the coach.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
exactly
that.
What you're saying.
No, what I'm saying exactly is I'm talking about the principle of a player superseding the coach and saying it to the media. That's exactly what I'm saying.
The conversation started at coaching, and the fact that Kyrie said this, that's some kind of way diminished the role of the coach.
Because
I'm saying it doesn't.
Because I'm speculating that Kyrie really could be the coach behind the scenes, and that's what I'm speculating.
And I'm saying ain't nowhere in the world. Kyrie is not a smart guy. This is the same dude that said LeBron wasn't clutch.
Tony, what you think about that statement he just said?
I agree with Rodney, man. Like you can get AI was in his heyday when he wasn't no coach. He can rip and dazzle and do all that shit, but he ain't gonna go and try to coach. I don't think, like I said, I don't think Kyrie got it in him to know how to coach.
I think he's coaching. I think he's telling people what to do. I think he's calling the plays on the floor. I watched him play a couple times.
Why would they listen to him though? Why would they listen to him?
I don't know why they would, but they are. Fig, tell me if you agree or disagree. You
ain't listen to that nigga, man.
Hey man, Kyrie, let me just tell you this. Kyrie is like that little Martian that be in the head of somebody really powerful. It's just something about him, man. When he speaks, people listen. Kyrie is the E.F. Hutton of the Nets. When he talks, people listen.
stupid as hell. Where you get that from?
I thought you were going to call him Gazoo. You remember Gazoo from the Fresh
I did too.
Great Gazoo.
I thought you go with
that
Gazoo.
too.
And then Steve Kirby on the sideline. I mean, Steve Nash be on the sideline trying to make a play and make a call a play, and Kyrie just looked at him and be like, "Ooh, dumb."
Well, Frank. Oh, go ahead, Rodney.
No. Go ahead, Tony. Make your point.
No, I want to ask y'all. Do you think how much different do they look at a coach that's been coaching instead of a player that they grew up looking at and idolizing? Now he's the coach. Players that went coach. Do you think the players look at him different, or they pay more attention to him, or they're that loose with him that they can do that?
I think it only makes a difference when you actually played with that dude. Like if you played with the guy, like ain't none of these guys played with Steve Nash.
Right.
You
Okay,
know,
right.
But I think coach guys that was coaches that become players that become coaches have a certain respect because they know that they got the perspective of the player. They came from the game.
Yeah, like if it was Magic, when Magic was coaching and those players would come up, I mean, that's different. You know what I mean? But listen,
the thing of it is that as a player coach, you get you have a certain level of cachet, and you get a certain level of of people listening to you, especially if you played at a high level. But the truth of the matter is, every great player is not a great coach. I think they do pay a little attention to Steve Nash because of his stature and what he was able to accomplish.
We gotta get ready to go. We gotta get ready to go. Rod, you want to make the last point?
Last point. It's very difficult for great players to be coaches because they do stuff that everybody can't do.
Right.
Exactly. I believe that.
You know, Michael Jordan be like, "Hey, why you can't jump and hang your ass, finger roll on the other side of the rim?" Like, because I can't, coach. I'm sorry.
And that being the playbook.
Huh? That's the show, yo. We gotta get ready to roll out.
The show already?
Yeah, Tony Robbins, tell everybody out there how they can follow you, bro.
At Tony Robbins, man. Rodney crazy. Why you can't just finger roll like I used to do?
Hang in there.
Rodney, go ahead. Tell everybody out there how they can follow you.
Hey, man, Rodney Perry, man. The website, RodneyPerry.com. All the social media, Rodney Perry Live. Man, love, respect, man. And sorry for my tardiness today, but it worked out.
It worked out. Fig, tell everybody how they can follow you.
Yeah, man, you can follow me right here at Comedian Fig, or you can check me out on the Box Seats Monday through Friday. The best damn sports show on TV. And if you really want to follow Tony, all you got to do is follow his wife, because her social media is way better than Tony's.
I want to thank Talent for joining the show. True Talent had to buy out real early. Today was the first day.
I want to.
You're going to get one. You're going to get one. Today was the first day with Tuesdays with Tony, where Tony Robbins got to join the show. It was hilarious. But we are on every Monday through Friday from 1 to 2. Make sure you check out the show. Download the Human Real app. We're going to be on more channels, more subscribers. We got to go. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Same bad time.
Tony Robbins.
Tony!
Big. I'm out, y'all.